Secretary of the Army for the state of Utah. She continually looks for ways to carry on her husband's legacy of service to God, family, and country. Mrs. Taylor.
I'll admit I'm going to need the tissues, so if you need to grab yours, that's okay too. What a day. I feel like we could leave right now just so filled. The prayer was beautiful, the anthem was beautiful, the music has been beautiful. I don't remember the last time I've heard the medley of armed services sung. How many of you often hear the words? I mean, we sing it when we stand, but to have a voice to it, let's give him another hand. Sergeant, thank you for that. He stole my entire talk, so we can all just go home because he told us everything we needed to know. But I mostly just want to thank you for taking a few minutes today, as our tech sergeant said, to pause on a day that you could be having a barbecue, and I hope you are later today. Maybe on the way home you'll swing by somewhere and get a good deal on a couch. Certainly there's no school, and you can't do any government business, so don't try. Just go back tomorrow. But in addition to all of those wonderful kickoff to summer events, how great is it that you're taking a few minutes this morning to pause and reflect upon what Memorial Day is all about. You know, as a mom, I love holidays. I have 7 kids ranging from a 5-year-old that just finished preschool to a 17-year-old that just graduated a week ago today from high school. And we love holidays and a reason to celebrate, especially a reason to get a day off of school. But I'm always mindful whether it's Christmas or the 4th of July or Thanksgiving or Memorial Day, to take a few minutes with my kids and pause and talk about what in the world that day is even about. So let's talk for a minute about what in the world Memorial Day is even all about. And I'll probably steal a few words that have already been shared and even a couple from the prayer, but I think they're worth saying more than once. Memorial Day is, by very name, a day to remember. I hope it's a day you share your memories. I did a couple of interviews with some national media this weekend, and they're asking me what Memorial Day means to me and what I hope people will do and how I help my children understand the loss of their father and his service and sacrifice. And I say every time I'm asked, the greatest thing you can do to honor the families of those who have given their lives for us is to share the memories you have of those who have died. Now, I lost my father as a young girl. He wasn't in the military, but he died just the same. And I can't tell you how much it means to me to find anyone who knew him. I was only 10. I don't have a lot of my own memories. Anyone who lived with him, who laughed with him, who went to high school and maybe skipped class with him, I don't know. So if you're sitting in this audience and you know someone who has died, whether in the cause of our country or otherwise, and they have children or grandchildren or a spouse or a sibling somewhere, a mother or a father, please take the time to share your memories of that person with them. Because Memorial Day is above all a day to share those memories. But as has already been mentioned, it's not always been called Memorial Day, and I bet you might not have known that. Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day. Now let me put this in perspective. We are surrounded by probably some of God's most beautiful earth around us. The mountains over behind this tent. As I drove up and saw the cemetery grounds covered with beautiful flowers of every color, it takes your breath away. You can see why it might have been called Decoration Day. We decorate the site where they're buried. We put flowers, we put flags. I know at my husband's gravesite there's a picture frame, and it's been hit by the water and the sprinklers. It's been there about 3 years and it is going strong. It's a little weathered, but we keep it there. Sometimes when I visit my husband's grave, I find that it's been decorated with coins. Did you know there's a military tradition with coins? Maybe it's a penny, a nickel, a dime, a quarter. Each monetary coin denotes a different relationship between the service member leaving the coin and the service member buried and being honored with the coin. So we decorate graves in a lot of different ways. We decorate them to make them more beautiful. We decorate them so they stand out. We decorate them because it makes our heart swell to see that beauty. But did you know The decorate does not just mean to make beautiful. Did you know that? I am a school teacher at heart, and I am also a word nerd. I love the dictionary. Paper or electronic, I'm looking up words all the time. The word decorate does mean to make beautiful. Decorate the grave, decorate your living room, decorate for the birthday party. But decorate also means to add honor to. Think about that name for a national holiday. On Memorial Day, we add honor to those who have given their lives for us. I didn't just say we give honor to, or we bestow honor upon, but we are supposed to, and given the opportunity to, add honor to. Now that's a pretty tall order, because there's quite a bit of honor buried in America's cemeteries. Whether you're in Arlington or another national burial site, or here in Sandy, Utah, or at my home in North Ogden where my husband is laid to rest, or any other cemetery across this nation and beyond our borders, there are a lot of honorable men and women buried. They gave their lives, they lived their lives, they died those beautiful lives, every breath with honor. And now we get the opportunity on the last Monday of May every year to pause and ask ourselves, how will we add honor to those lives? Now let me tell you a little story so we can get to know each other a little bit better. My husband and I grew up big American dreamers. I don't know if the rest of you are a fan of the American dream, but it's something we cherish as a country. Now let's be straight here. We are not the authors of freedom and liberty and democracy. But man, as Americans, are we pretty good at insisting everybody has a shot at it, right? We believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, not just for ourselves, but for people all around the world. And so here we are, this young man, Brent Taylor, and me. I was Jenny Ashworth at the time. We grew up not knowing each other, but we both grew up loving this country. He grew up wishing and dreaming and hoping and waiting for the day he could be a soldier. And I knew from the time I was in kindergarten that I was going to be a teacher and a mom. Our paths crossed in our early 20s when we were set up on a blind date, and we continued to dream that American dream of having a family, of raising our children, of hopefully giving back to our community and our country. His dreams were fulfilled when he put on that uniform and he went off to war. And I had the dream of teaching school and bearing children and raising that beautiful family. And I'll tell you, we had dreams that continued long into the future, like many of you. We dreamed, I assure you, of growing old together. And yet on Saturday, November 3rd, 2018, 2 Army officers came knocking on my door with a message that threatened to kill every dream I'd ever had. You see, because in the moment when those 2 Army officers informed me that my husband had been killed in action in Afghanistan, it felt as if every dream I'd ever had died that day. How would I go on? How would I raise those children? What would I tell them? How would I help his mother face the grief of bearing a son? What would I tell our entire city where he was serving as mayor? What would be the point of getting out of bed? And I'll admit my heart went pretty sad and pretty dark and pretty deep. But somewhere within me, and I think by the grace of God and by the good legacy left by my husband and so many who went before, a flame was rekindled in me the day he died. And I was able to remember and realize that I loved this country, and Brent loved this country long before he ever died for it. Long before he ever put on that uniform, long before I ever became Gold Star with a lapel pin. We both knew this country was worth dying for. And today, as we celebrate Memorial Day and as we honor Decoration Day, I will tell you this day has become to me the day to cherish the American dream. Because it is because of men and women throughout the history of this country and around the world who have given their lives and given up their dreams so that you and I can get out of bed in the morning and pursue our dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine an America without dreams? And can you imagine a world without America? That is what Memorial Day is all about. Memorial Day is realizing that our individual dreams are bigger than our own. Our cause is greater than our own. This country is greater than our own borders. Again, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness don't just belong to America, but it's been America for hundreds of years, determined to give those gifts to all of God's children around the world. I am sad on Memorial Day. I am somber and reflective. It is a difficult day to be a mother of 7, whose father now lies buried with his dreams. But I will tell you, I am proud. I am grateful. I am determined, and I am inspired to take the flame of the candle he bore with so many others like him. And not for a second will I let that flame go out. But I hope that my children will join me as I pick up that flame. I hope you'll carry it with me. I hope it will be like a torch in the night. I hope we'll find the flame of patriotism kindled within ourselves and carry that light not just to our own families and our own children, not just our own neighbors and our own friends, but to God's children around the world. I hope we'll look to those who don't look like us. I hope we'll talk to those who don't think like us. I hope we'll cherish those who believe differently from us. And we will come together with respect and consideration and honor. The way we treat others honors those who've been given their lives for us. The way we speak to others, the way we pursue our dreams, the decisions we make, the choices we make each day. That is how we add honor to the immeasurably honorable lives that have been given in our behalf. As you visit this cemetery and look at these graves, I would ask you to ask yourself, what dreams lie here? What dreams have been buried with those who laid down their lives so that we can pursue our dreams? What dreams lie here, and what do they say to you? What honor will you add today, tomorrow, this year, and throughout your life? None of us know how much time we get on this planet we call Earth. There are days when life spins by rapidly and days when it feels like it just drags on. I imagine that you, like me, have days when you're determined to conquer the world and days when you're not sure you can get out of bed. In both of those moments, the highs and the lows, the goods and the bad, the dark and the light, may you please call upon the honor of those who have been willing to die for you and me. May you find strength in their strength. May you find courage in their courage. May you receive the hope they died to give you, and then put one foot in front of the other. Take one more breath where they no longer can. Stand tall, stand proud, stand for the flag, stand for freedom. Stand for those in need, stand for those who can't stand for themselves. May we spend Memorial Day sharing memories. May we spend Decoration Day decorating and adding honor to those who are no longer here. And more importantly, may we spend every day reflecting on the gift of each day, the breath we still do get to take, the paths we get to pursue, the dreams we get to chase. It has been almost 5 years since my husband was killed on that Saturday morning. My baby turned 1 2 days after we buried her father, and she just graduated preschool. My oldest was 13 just a few weeks before my husband died, and as I said, she just finished high school and she's on her way to college in DC this fall. Time keeps ticking. In the moments when it feels like the world stands still, I look at my children, and the fact that they're no longer as young as they were reminds me that that time has kept moving on. And then it reminds me that I'm not as young as I was either, though somehow you kind of get stuck in the middle and don't realize how old you continue to get. Whether we grow old or die at some point before that age, may each of us live and die in honor. My husband and so many others literally gave their lives for this country. Many of them did so in a moment. A bullet, an accident, an explosion. I hope that each of us, regardless of the time and manner of our death, will also be able to have said of us that we lived and died for our country. That we gave what we could, that we helped when we could. That we knew that patriotism wasn't egotistical. It certainly wasn't supremacy. It definitely isn't superiority. Excuse me. I hope we recognize patriotism as humility and gratitude and a little kick in the behind to do a little bit better than maybe we've been doing so far. I love this country. I love the flag, I love the uniform, I love the hills, the mountains, and the sea. I love God's green earth and the chance that He's given me to live in this beautiful, sacred part of it. And I have dedicated my life, just as my husband and so many others have done, to living and giving my life to and for this country. May God so bless each of us to do that. May we remember that we best honor those who have been willing to give their lives for us by making something of honor out of the lives they have given to us. And may we do so together, hand in hand, side by side, one step, one breath, and one dream at a time. Thank you.